Well, for today's video, I've got this Troy-Bilt TB110. These are extremely common mowers. You guys have seen them featured on this channel many different times. This particular engine on these, as you all may or may not know, has a very common issue with not wanting to start because of old gas. The jets in these are very, very prone to clogging up. It's not a difficult fix. These engines are not particularly hard to work on. They are made very cheap. The build quality is nowhere near as good as it was years ago when Briggs made engines like these, but they're still very much serviceable. So we're gonna go ahead and service this thing. We'll start with the carburetor. We'll check out the air filter, see how that's doing. I don't know if there's any gas in this one. Yeah, it's bone dry, so that's good. That's just one less thing I have to worry about. Pull cord's still good. Not really too much damage other than some bubbling paint, but that's kind of common at this age. I think this one's like a 2014, 2012. So this is 14 years old at this point. It's definitely getting up there in age, and it's held together pretty well. Normally these things are at this point in their life pretty well beaten up, but this one's not that bad. I've also got the bag over there with a new bag inside it, so we'll replace that as well. Also, this wheel is kind of stiff, so we're gonna have to pull that off and see how much rust is going on that axle. So first things first, we'll go ahead and pull off the air filter cover. That's a little stiff. Filter needs to be replaced. We'll replace that. That's not a big deal. Set of bolts keeping this thing on. You have these two self-tappers which go into the plastic, and these are 9/32. So we'll go ahead and pull those out. .5/16, or the one here and the one here. Pull those out. Pull the filter cover out. Now we have better access to the carburetor, but we're not done yet. I'm gonna take that same 5/16 and pull off these three bolts off of the starter. And we can just set that there. It's not going nowhere. Now what I've started doing with these is actually pulling off the tank and the carburetor as one piece, and you just lift it up just like this. Generally you will have enough flex here with the fuel line to pull everything off, but at this point nothing is holding this carburetor to the engine. That's what this was for. So we're just going to kind of rock this back and forth just like that, and then you're going to rotate it down, pull this linkage out, and then you'll see this linkage too. If yours is equipped with one, just pull it down like that. And now you have everything off. So this will be easy, a little easier. We'll get this to the workbench. Now I don't anticipate there's gonna be much fuel in this carburetor, if there's any at all. However, I have started using these cookie or baking trays as little trays for carburetor work because they keep the fuel and the parts all in one place and I don't lose them. So you'll notice you have two bolts holding your bowl in place at the bottom. And these are also that funky 11/32. There's also a metric size, or 9/32 rather, but there's also a metric size that will fit. I don't recall which one it is offhand. We'll just pull these out. And then on these, what I've found is just get a big flathead. Might need to get two. This one's actually cooperating, so we won't. We just pull that off, and a little bit of fuel, not horrible. So we'll set that aside and clean that out, and we'll go ahead and pull the float. Just pull your pin. Float with the needle, both of those look good. I can't recall on this style carburetor if I've ever had any issues with the needles on these. Typically they're pretty clean, so I don't really mess with them too much. I will kind of wipe them off a little bit with a rag, but this one didn't have anything on it to start with. So now we can get to the meat and potatoes of these carburetors. And where these things love to fail is this jet assembly. Now you can buy these new if you so desire. The link is in the description with the part numbers. But they're not typically hard to clean out, and it'll most likely work fine. But if you do choose to replace it, go ahead. They're not expensive. And honestly, the off-brand Amazon ones are okay. I've used them before. They're probably about as good as the OEM ones. They're probably made in the same factory, to be honest with you. But we'll go ahead and pull this out. It's going to sound like you're breaking it. You're not going to break it. But you just wiggle it. And we'll have a better look at this thing. So you have this thing out. You can think, okay, well, I can just shoot some carb spray into it and be done with it. Nope. These are a two-piece design. You're going to pull off this bottom piece, which reveals these holes, which like to gum up. These don't look too bad. So we're going to go ahead and clean this thing out. Most likely that will solve any starting issues that this mower had. I'd say probably about 90–95% of the time on these newer Briggs, this is your problem. It needs to be cleaned or replaced. All right, so I've got my charged up air compressor here. We're just going to blow this out. This actually looks a little dirty. So what I'm going to do here is poke this down here at the bottom. This is just a piece of small wire, and there's definitely some corrosion congealed fuel down here, so it's probably a good thing we're doing this. We'll just clean all that out. Little trick to blowing these out. So these come up, pipe into here, and then you have two openings here. So what I'm going to do is hold this one just like that. Clean it out. That actually blew out a lot of that junk. So that's good. I don't know how well you all can see this. Probably about as good as we're going to get it. So do it the other way. And just like that. So at this point, we can do this one too. And then kind of the same thing. And if this was the culprit, it's very likely not going to give us any more starting issues. So we'll go ahead and throw this thing back together. And to do that, this is all you do. You just pop the top piece back on, slide it forward, latch it in. Getting this back in. You'll notice looking inside here, that there's a small little pocket down here. That's obviously where this goes. So this thing can only go in one way, and it's important to note some of these, the older models, have what I've always called a little donut in there. And they used to be white, now they're black, but that little piece right there in the center, you can't really see too well there, so I do apologize, but that you just want to make sure that that's still in there and it hasn't shifted. They can shift, I've seen them shift before, so but what we're going to do is just stick this thing back in, and you'll feel it bottom out. You might have to give it a little bit of help, but there it is, it bottomed out. And you'll look through here, that little donut, what I was talking about, you can now see a little nub of the jet assembly going through the middle of it, right there. So that's what you want. If that thing's not lined up, you won't be able to see the jet assembly going through the throat of the carburetor, and you'll have to pull it back out, resituate everything, make sure it's all good, realign realign that donut up, which isn't difficult to do. So now at this point, we can put the carburetor back together, and we'll blow this off too. Give this stuff a good wipe down real fast. You'll get your float and your needle. Stick that in just like that. And then you're just going to stick everything back together. Then grab your pin. I always like to slide these things in from the side like this, because if this plastic's a little weak, you do run the risk of breaking it. And you can see, you can get it in just fine, just sliding it in. You don't have to force anything. So then flip over your assembly here, make sure everything works as it should. This is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be floppy like that. So everything looks good. Do a quick blowout of this. Now with the bowl, that's all cleaned out. So that's ready for reinstallation. Here's a bit of a trick I learned a long time ago, working on cars and small engines and everything else that I've done over the years. Keep a tub of this stuff handy, because for nitrile O-rings or fuel hoses or something, you know, rubbery, just a little bit of this goes a long way. It makes it infinitely easier to get this thing lined up and pressed back in. It's not so much an issue on the OEM stuff, but if you do get, you know, an aftermarket bowl here with a new aftermarket O-ring, they can kind of be a pain to get back in. But on the OEM stuff, they're kind of 50-50. Sometimes they're fine, sometimes they're not, but this will help you for sure. So basically, this guy here, wipe this off one more time, but this just goes right into that little pocket right there. So this thing can only go on one way, but you get it back on just like that. Kind of eyeball the holes here at the bottom, and then push everything back on as best you can. You can see how it's kind of forcing the O-ring out just a bit. Everything looks good now. Now here's something that's really important. Going back on with these bolts, I'm going to do it by hand. You don't really want to use an impact or a drill or any sort of power tool, because you run the risk of stripping the threads out. I've seen it happen before on mowers that I've serviced, where people will think that they just need to really torque these things down, and you really don't. They just need to be snug, just like that. Not too much more than that. There we are. So now this thing is ready to be reinstalled on the machine. I'm going to give this tank a quick wipe down, because there's a lot of kind of buildup or something on it. So we have everything here, and basically what we're going to do is put everything on the same way it came off. So you're going to start, if this is equipped on your machine with the automatic choke linkage, that's just going to go on like that, slide it back on. And you also want to make sure that this arm is right how it's set up right here. It's on the right side of this arm. You don't want it on the other side. It's easy to do. I've seen it a few times when people have taken their stuff apart and they wonder why, you know, they clean the carburetor out and their machine doesn't want to start after that. Well, on these, it's really easy to get this switched around. I'm just going to get the governor linkage, and I'll just put this back on, just like that. So now both your linkages are back on. You can push the carburetor back onto motor a bit, move your tank back up to the slots up here, push everything down, push your carburetor back up against the cylinder, and there you go. That really is the hardest part of this entire job. It's really not that bad, as you've probably come to find. All right, so at this point we can reinstall everything. The recoil can stay off for now. I'm not really too worried about that, but make sure most of the surface area here is clean. And where it came off it is, so it's not going to be a problem, but just make sure this area is clean. So you'll see these two nubs, these go here and here. And then this PCV line goes right here. And just make sure you put that line on. Everything's lined up now. So now we're back to the plastic self-tappers. I'm going to put those on first. These two go into the carburetor. So these are these two holes right here. And I'm just going to thread those in just by hand. No need to use any impact or power tools on these because, again, they are plastic. You do risk stripping them out. So just by hand, just snug, and you'll be fine. Now these, on the other hand, are fine thread normal bolts. These you can absolutely use a small impact or drill on, and you're not going to hurt anything. Not going to go anywhere now. Get a new air filter. I get these off of Amazon, which, by the way, links to all the parts that I'm using in this video or touching are in the description. Please go ahead and check that out. But new air filter goes on just like this. Old air filter is trash and will go in the trash. No real reason to save old air filters. We'll throw the cover back on.